At 2 a.m. in a cold Detroit apartment, desperate single mother Keisha Washington typed the message that would change everything. Her 8-year-old son Marcus needed surgery they couldn't afford. The power bill sat unpaid. Hope was running out. Then she did something crazy. She reached out to the richest man in the world. What happened next shocked everyone, including Elon Musk himself. But the real surprise wasn't his response. It was what Marcus taught him about courage, dreams, and the true meaning of reaching for the stars. This is their incredible true story of how one mother's desperate plea became a movement that would help thousands of children across America. The kitchen table was cold under Keisha Washington's arms. She stared at the power bill for the third time tonight. The red letters seemed to glow in the dim light. Final notice, $84. Outside her small apartment window, Detroit's east side looked quiet. Street lights flickered on and off. Some had been broken for months. The city couldn't fix them all. Keisha rubbed her tired eyes. It was almost midnight, but she couldn't sleep. Tomorrow, the power company might shut off their electricity. Without power, she couldn't keep Marcus's medical equipment running. 8-year-old Marcus slept in the next room. His breathing was soft and steady. He didn't know about the bill. He didn't know about a lot of things Keisha worried about every night. She looked at the other papers spread across the table. Medical bills, rent notices, insurance forms that said claim denied in big black letters. Marcus had spina bifida. The doctors explained it when he was born. His spine didn't form right. It made walking hard for him. It also made everything expensive. The surgery Marcus needed cost more money than Keisha would ever have. $280,000. She had written that number down so many times, it felt like a curse. Keisha worked 2 jobs. During the day, she served lunch at the community center on Jefferson Avenue. Detail was small, but she got to bring leftover food home for Marcus. At night, she cleaned offices downtown. She scrubbed floors and emptied trash cans while the city slept. 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. It still wasn't enough. She picked up her phone and looked at her bank balance. "This isn't fair," she whispered to the empty kitchen. Marcus was the smartest kid in his 3rd grade class. His teacher, Mrs. Lopez, said he could be anything he wanted when he grew up. An engineer, a scientist, maybe even an astronaut. But smart didn't pay for surgery. Smart didn't keep the lights on. Keisha opened her old laptop. The screen flickered to life. She had bought it used 3 years ago for $50. It was slow, but it worked. She didn't know why she did what she did next. Maybe she was too tired to think straight. Maybe she was desperate. Maybe she just needed to tell someone how scared she was. She went to Twitter and searched for Elon Musk. Everyone knew about Elon Musk, the man who built electric cars and rocket ships, the richest person in the world. Marcus loved watching videos of SpaceX rockets launching into space. He would clap and cheer every time one landed safely. "Someday I'm gonna build rockets too," Marcus always said. Keisha found Elon Musk's profile. Millions of people followed him. He posted about Mars and technology and big ideas. Why would someone like that care about a single mom in Detroit? But her fingers started typing anyway. "Mr. Musk," she wrote. "My name is Keisha Washington. I live in Detroit with my son Marcus. I don't usually ask strangers for help, but I don't know what else to do." She stopped typing. This was crazy. Delete it, she told herself. Rich people don't read messages from poor people. But then she thought about Marcus. Tomorrow, he would wake up and ask for breakfast. He would smile and tell her about his dreams. He would never complain about being different, or sick, or poor. Her fingers moved across the keyboard again. "My son has spina bifida. He needs surgery to help him walk better. The cost is $280,000. I work 2 jobs, but I can't save that much money." Marcus is 8 years old. He wants to be an engineer like you someday. Keisha wiped tears from her cheeks. When had she started crying? "I know you probably won't read this. Important people have important things to do. But if you do see this message, please know that Marcus never stops trying. Even when walking hurts, he never gives up. He watches your rocket launches and talks about going to Mars. He believes anything is possible." She typed for another hour. She told Elon about Marcus's grades, about how he helped other kids at school who felt different. about how he saved his allowance to buy science books from the used bookstore. She wrote about working nights and sleeping during the day, about choosing between groceries and medicine, about lying awake wondering if she was failing as a mother. "I don't want a handout," she typed. "I just want my son to have the same chances as other kids. I want him to walk without pain. I want him to believe his dreams can come true." At 2 in the morning, Keisha read her message one more time. It was long and probably boring. Elon Musk would never see it. Even if he did, why would he care? But something inside her felt lighter. She had told someone the truth. She had asked for help. Maybe that was enough. She moved the cursor to the send button. Her hand shook as she clicked it. The message disappeared into the internet, into the void where millions of messages got lost every day. Keisha closed the laptop and went to check on Marcus. He was sleeping peacefully, his small body curled under the blanket she had made for him when he was a baby. "I tried, baby," she whispered. "I don't know if it will help, but I tried." She kissed his forehead and went to her own bed. For the first time in weeks, she fell asleep quickly. The next morning, Keisha's phone started buzzing at 6 a.m. She ignored it. Probably work calling about extra shifts. But it kept buzzing. And buzzing. She rolled over and grabbed the phone. 47 missed calls. Hundreds of text messages. Her social media accounts were exploding with notifications. Keisha sat up fast, her heart pounding. The first text message was from her sister Denise. "Girl, what did you do? You're all over the internet." The second was from her neighbor Mrs. Patterson. "Honey, there are news vans outside your building." Keisha stumbled to the window and looked down at the street. 3 white vans with satellite dishes were parked below. People with cameras stood on the sidewalk. Her hands shook as she opened Twitter. Her message to Elon Musk was everywhere. Someone had screenshot it and posted it publicly. It had been shared thousands of times. The headline read, "Detroit mom's desperate plea to Elon Musk goes viral." "Mom?" Marcus appeared in her doorway, rubbing his sleepy eyes. "Why are there so many cars outside? And why is your phone making so much noise?" Keisha looked at her son. His hair was messy from sleep. His pajamas had rocket ships on them. He looked so small and innocent. What had she done? Keisha's phone buzzed again. Then again. The sound filled her small bedroom like angry bees. "Mom, your phone is really loud," Marcus said, walking over to her bed. He moved carefully, the way he always did in the mornings when his back was stiff. Keisha pulled him close and turned off the sound. But the screen kept lighting up with new messages, new calls, new notifications she didn't understand. "Let me see what's happening," she said, trying to keep her voice calm. She opened her laptop and went to Twitter. Her private message to Elon Musk wasn't private anymore. Someone had taken a picture of it and posted it for everyone to see. The post had a caption, "Single mom in Detroit begs Elon Musk for help with son's medical bills." This broke my heart. Under the post, thousands of people were commenting. Keisha scrolled through them, her stomach feeling sick. Some comments made her want to cry happy tears. This mom is a hero. She's fighting for her child. Elon should help her. He has billions of dollars. I'm praying for Marcus and his mom. Where can I donate to help this family? But other comments were mean and ugly. Why should rich people pay for your mistakes? Get a better job instead of begging on the internet. She probably just wants attention. People like this always want something for free. Keisha felt her face get hot. She closed the laptop quickly. "What's wrong, Mom?" Marcus asked. "You look scared." Before she could answer, someone knocked on the door. Hard, loud knocks that echoed through their small apartment. Keisha looked through the peephole. A woman with a microphone stood outside. Behind her, a man held a big camera. "Mrs. Washington," the woman called. "I'm from Channel 7 News. We'd like to talk to you about your message to Elon Musk." More knocking came from down the hall. More voices, more cameras. "Mom, why are there strangers at our door?" Marcus whispered. Keisha's hands shook as she turned the deadbolt. "I don't know, baby, but we're not opening the door right now." She led Marcus to the kitchen, away from the front door. Her phone rang again. This time she looked at the caller ID, Jefferson Community Center. "Keisha, girl, what is going on?" It was her boss, Mrs. Martinez. The news people called here looking for you. They want to know about your work schedule. I'm sorry, Mrs. Martinez. I didn't mean for this to happen. Don't be sorry. Half the city is talking about you. But honey, you need to be careful. Not everyone who calls you today will be nice. After hanging up, Keisha made Marcus breakfast. Cereal with milk that would expire tomorrow. She sat across from him at their small table watching him eat. Marcus didn't seem worried about the chaos outside. He never worried much about anything. That was one of the things Keisha loved most about her son. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. Last night I heard you typing on the computer. Were you working? Keisha's throat felt tight. Not exactly. I was writing a letter. To who? To someone I thought might be able to help us. Marcus nodded like this made perfect sense. Like when I write letters to Santa? Something like that. Did they write back yet? Keisha looked at her silent phone. No, baby. They haven't written back. Around noon, the knocking stopped. Keisha peeked through the curtains. The news vans were still there, but the reporters had moved across the street. They were interviewing neighbors now. She saw Mrs. Patterson from downstairs talking to a woman with a microphone. Mrs. Patterson pointed up at their window. Keisha's phone rang again. This time, the caller ID said Sarah Chen, Channel 7. Keisha almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Mrs. Washington? This is Sarah Chen from Channel 7 News. I've been trying to reach you all morning. I don't want to talk to reporters, Keisha said. I understand, but I think you should know, your story is helping people. What do you mean? Since this morning, our station has gotten dozens of calls. People want to help families like yours. They're asking how they can donate to children's hospitals. Some are sharing their own stories about medical bills. Keisha didn't know what to say. Sarah continued, I'm not trying to trick you or make you look bad. I'm a mom too. I just think people need to hear the real story. Your story. What kind of real story? The story of a mother who works 16 hours a day and still can't afford to help her sick child. The story of how our healthcare system fails families like yours. Keisha looked at Marcus. He was drawing at the kitchen table now. Probably rockets and spaceships, like always. If I talk to you, Keisha said slowly, will you promise to be fair? Will you promise not to make Marcus and me look like we're just looking for handouts? I promise. 2 hours later, Sarah Chen knocked on their door. She came alone without the big camera crew. She looked younger than Keisha had expected, with kind eyes and a gentle voice. Thank you for trusting me, Sarah said as she sat on their old couch. The interview lasted an hour. Sarah asked about Marcus's condition, about Keisha's jobs, about their daily life. She didn't ask mean questions or try to make Keisha feel ashamed. I work 60 hours a week, Keisha said to the camera. I've never asked for government assistance. I've never asked anyone for help before last night. But when your child needs something you can't provide, you'll do anything. Marcus sat next to his mom during part of the interview. He wasn't shy about his condition. My back hurts sometimes, he told Sarah. But I can still do lots of things. I'm really good at math. And I know all the planets in order. What do you want to be when you grow up? Sarah asked. An engineer, Marcus said without hesitation. I want to build rockets that go to Mars. Just like Mr. Musk. Have you heard from Mr. Musk yet? Marcus shook his head. Not yet. But Mom says sometimes important people are really busy. That evening, Channel 7 aired the interview during the 6 o'clock news. The story was called Detroit Mother's Fight for Her Son's Future. Keisha and Marcus watched it together on their small TV. Seeing themselves on the news felt weird and exciting and scary. All at once. Mom, we're famous, Marcus said, clapping his hands. But Keisha felt nervous. Being famous meant everyone was watching. Everyone was judging. After the news, her phone started buzzing again. This time the messages were different. People were sharing the interview video. The comments were mostly supportive now. This mom is amazing. Look how hard she works. Marcus is so brave and smart. I donated to the Detroit Children's Hospital because of this story. Where is Elon Musk? He should help this family. But still no word from Elon Musk himself. That night, as Keisha tucked Marcus into bed, he asked Mom, do you think Mr. Musk saw our interview? I don't know, baby. I hope he did. I want to tell him about my rocket drawings. Maybe someday you will. Marcus smiled. I think tomorrow is going to be a good day. Keisha kissed his forehead. Why do you think that? Because you were brave last night. And good things happen to brave people. After Marcus fell asleep, Keisha sat in her kitchen again. The same kitchen where she had written the message that changed everything. Her phone was finally quiet. The reporters had gone home. The internet comments had slowed down. But she still hadn't heard from the one person who mattered most. At 11:47 p.m., her phone rang. The caller ID showed a number she didn't recognize. A California area code. Keisha stared at the phone, her heart pounding. Should she answer? Keisha's finger hovered over the green button. The phone kept ringing. California area code. At almost midnight. This could be another reporter. Or maybe someone playing a mean joke. The internet was full of people who licked to trick others. But what if it wasn't? On the fifth ring, she answered. Hello? Her voice came out as a whisper. Is this Keisha Washington? The voice was professional and calm. A woman's voice. Yes, Keisha said, still whispering. She didn't want to wake Marcus. My name is Jennifer Rodriguez. I work for Mr. Musk. Keisha's heart stopped. Then it started beating so fast, she thought it might explode. You work for Elon Musk? Yes. I'm his assistant for special projects. He asked me to call you. Keisha sat down hard in her kitchen chair. This couldn't be real. Things like this didn't happen to people like her. He saw your message? She asked. He did. And he saw your interview tonight. Mr. Musk wants to help, but not in the way you might expect. I don't understand. Jennifer's voice was kind, but businesslike. Can you and Marcus travel to Austin, Texas this weekend? Keisha's mind went blank. Austin, Texas? That was where Elon Musk's companies were located. She had seen it on the news. I can't afford plane tickets, she said, feeling embarrassed. Everything will be paid for. A car will pick you and Marcus up tomorrow at 10 a.m. You should pack for 3 days. This was happening too fast. Keisha's head felt dizzy. Why? What does he want from us? Mr. Musk will explain everything when you get here. But Keisha, make sure you bring Marcus's medical records. All of them. His medical records, everything. Surgery reports, x-rays, doctor notes. Bring it all. After Jennifer hung up, Keisha sat in her dark kitchen for a long time. The phone felt heavy in her hands. Was this real, or was she dreaming? She called her sister Denise. It was late, but Denise always stayed up watching TV. Girl, do you know what time it is? Denise answered. Denise, something crazy just happened. Keisha told her about the phone call, about the trip to Austin, about Elon Musk wanting to meet them. Hold up, Denise said. You're telling me Elon Musk wants to fly you to Texas? That's what his assistant said. Keisha, what if this is some kind of trick? What if it's not really him? That thought had been growing in Keisha's mind too. What if it's not? But what if it is real? Denise said. This might be Marcus's only chance. I'm scared, Denise. Of course you're scared. But you've been scared before. Remember when Marcus was born and the doctors said he might never walk? You didn't give up then. Keisha remembered. Those first few months had been the hardest of her life. But Marcus had surprised everyone. He was stronger than anyone expected. What should I do? Pack your bags, girl. If this is real, it could change everything. If it's fake, at least you tried. After hanging up, Keisha went to check on Marcus. He was sleeping peacefully, his small chest rising and falling. In the dim light from the hallway, she could see his drawings on the nightstand. Rockets and spaceships, just like always. What would she tell him in the morning? How do you explain something you don't understand yourself? Keisha didn't sleep much that night. She kept checking her phone, wondering if she had dreamed the whole conversation. But at exactly 10 a.m., a black SUV pulled up outside their building. Keisha watched from the window as a man in a dark suit got out. He looked up at their apartment and waved. Marcus, get your backpack, she called. We're going on a trip. A trip? Where? Texas. Marcus's eyes went wide. Texas? Why? Someone wants to meet us. Who? Keisha took a deep breath. Elon Musk. Marcus dropped his toothbrush. The Rocket Man? Really? Really? The ride to the airport felt like a dream. The driver was nice and professional, He helped them with their small suitcase and opened doors for Marcus. "First time flying?" the driver asked Marcus. "First time doing anything like this," Marcus replied. At Detroit Airport, they were taken to a different part of the building, not the crowded main terminal, but a quiet area with comfortable chairs and big windows. "This is the private jet terminal," a woman in a uniform explained. "Your plane is ready." Keisha had never seen a private jet before. It was smaller than the big planes she saw on TV, but much fancier. The seats were like living room chairs. There was a small kitchen and even a couch. "Mom, this is like a house that flies," Marcus said, exploring every corner. The pilot came back to introduce himself. "I'm Captain Johnson. We'll be in Austin in about 2.5 hours." As the plane took off, Marcus pressed his face to the window. "Look, Mom. Detroit looks so small." Keisha watched her son's excitement and felt her worry fade a little. Whatever happened in Austin, at least Marcus was getting to experience something amazing. During the flight, she organized Marcus's medical records. The folder was thick with papers, surgery reports from when he was 3, physical therapy notes, insurance claims that had been denied, X-rays showing the curve in his spine. Each paper told part of Marcus's story: the pain he had endured, the treatments that had helped, the surgery he still needed. "What are all those papers?" Marcus asked, sitting beside her. "Information about your back condition. The doctors in Austin will want to see them." "Are there going to be doctors in Austin?" "I think so." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Good doctors?" "I hope so, baby." When the plane started descending, Marcus got excited again. "Look, you can see the buildings." Austin looked different from Detroit. The buildings were newer and shinier. The highways were bigger. Everything looked clean and modern. But when they landed, they weren't taken to downtown Austin. They weren't taken to the Tesla factory or SpaceX offices that Marcus had seen in videos. Instead, their driver headed toward a large building with a big sign, Dell Children's Medical Center. "Why are we going to a hospital?" Marcus asked. Keisha felt her stomach tighten. "I don't know, baby." The hospital was huge and modern. Glass windows everywhere. Bright colors painted on the walls. It looked nothing like the old, crowded hospital where Marcus usually got his checkups in Detroit. A woman in scrubs met them at the entrance. "You must be the Washington family. I'm Dr. Sarah Kim." She was young and had a warm smile. "We've been expecting you." "Expecting us?" Keisha asked. "Mr. Musk contacted us yesterday. We've been preparing for Marcus's visit." Before Keisha could ask what that meant, she heard a familiar voice behind her. "You must be Marcus." They turned around. A tall man in jeans and a t-shirt was walking toward them. He looked normal, like any dad at the grocery store. But Keisha recognized him immediately from the news and internet videos. Elon Musk knelt down to Marcus's eye level. "I heard you want to be an engineer," he said with a smile. Marcus's mouth fell open. No words came out. He just stared. Elon laughed. "It's okay. I get nervous meeting new people too." "Want to see something cool?" Marcus nodded, still speechless. "Follow me," Elon said, standing up. "I have something to show both of you." They walked through the hospital hallways. Everything was bright and clean. Children's artwork covered the walls. Paintings of rainbows and animals and happy families. Marcus held Keisha's hand tightly. His eyes darted everywhere, taking in all the new sights. He wasn't scared, just curious. That was Marcus, always wanting to learn about new things. Dr. Kim walked beside them, explaining things as they went. "This is one of the best children's hospitals in the country. We specialize in spine conditions like Marcus has." "Why are we here?" Keisha asked. Her voice was small and confused. "You'll see," Elon said with a mysterious smile. They stopped at a door marked Research Wing, authorized personnel only. Dr. Kim used a special card to open it. Inside was a room unlike anything Keisha had ever seen. Computers everywhere, screens showing colorful pictures that looked like the inside of a human body. Strange machines with robotic arms. "Whoa," Marcus whispered. "It's like a spaceship." Elon laughed. "That's exactly what I was thinking when we built it." A team of doctors and engineers was waiting for them. They all smiled when Marcus walked in. "Marcus," Dr. Kim said, "these people have been working on something very special." something that might help kids like you. One of the engineers, a young woman with purple hair, knelt down next to Marcus. Hey, I'm Dr. Lisa Chen. Want to see what we've been building? She led them to a table where a small robot sat. It looked like a tiny metal spider with very precise arms. This is a surgical robot, Dr. Chen explained. But not just any robot. This one was designed using technology from SpaceX. Marcus's eyes got huge. From the rocket company? Exactly, Elon said. When we build rockets, we need robots that can do very precise work in space. We thought, what if we use that same technology to help doctors do surgery? Dr. Kim picked up the robot carefully. This robot can do operations on spines with incredible accuracy, much more precise than human hands alone. Keisha felt confused and overwhelmed. I don't understand. What does this have to do with Marcus? Elon looked at her seriously. Keisha, after I read your message, I started thinking, we have all this amazing technology for space exploration. But what good is going to Mars if we can't help kids right here on Earth? He turned to Marcus. Your mom's letter made me realize something important. The same engineering that sends rockets to space can help fix people's backs. Dr. Kim opened a folder filled with pictures and charts. We've been developing this technique for 2 years. The robot can perform spine surgery with almost no mistakes. Recovery time is much faster. Results are much better. But, Dr. Chen added, we need a very special volunteer for our first official trial. Marcus looked up at his mom, then back at the doctors. What kind of volunteer? Elon knelt down so he was eye level with Marcus again. Someone brave, someone smart, someone who wants to help other kids who have the same condition. Marcus, Dr. Kim said gently, we think this robot surgery could help you walk much better than traditional surgery. But you would be our first patient. That means you'd be helping us learn how to help hundreds of other children. Keisha's head was spinning. Wait, are you saying you want to do experimental surgery on my son? How long until approval? Keisha asked. Dr. Kim looked uncomfortable. That's complicated. It could be several months, maybe longer. But Elon looked thoughtful. He whispered something to Dr. Kim. There might be another option, Dr. Kim said slowly. Traditional surgery. Not with the robot, but with the best spine surgeons in the country. The success rate is very good. How much would that cost? Keisha asked, even though she already knew she couldn't afford it. That's covered, Elon said quietly. Keisha stared at him. Covered? What do you mean covered? I mean, you don't pay anything. But Keisha, I want you to understand something. This isn't charity. He stood up and looked directly at her. When I was young, my mom raised my brother and me mostly alone. She worked multiple jobs, just like you. She taught me that taking care of each other isn't about being generous. It's just what humans do. But I don't want handouts, Keisha said. This isn't a handout. After Marcus recovers, I want to offer you a job. Keisha's mouth fell open. A job? Tesla is building a new factory in Detroit. We need people who understand hard work and never give up. People like you. But I don't have a college degree. I don't know anything about cars or technology. Elon smiled. You raised a brilliant, brave kid while working 2 jobs and never giving up hope. That tells me everything I need to know about what kind of person you are. Marcus had been listening to everything. Now he tugged on Elon's shirt. Mr. Musk? Yes, Marcus. If I get the surgery, will I really be able to walk better? The doctors think so. But Marcus, you're already stronger than most adults I know. And will it help other kids like me? If you're willing to help us learn, yes. Your surgery will teach us things that could help hundreds of children. Marcus looked at his mom. What do you think, Mom? Keisha looked around the room. At the advanced equipment. At the kind doctors. At Elon Musk, who had somehow turned her desperate message into this incredible opportunity. I think, she said slowly, that you're the bravest kid I know. And if you want to do this, we'll do it together. Marcus smiled his biggest smile. I want to help the other kids. Dr. Kim clapped her hands together. Wonderful. We can schedule the surgery for next week. Next week? Keisha felt dizzy again. The sooner the better, Dr. Kim said. Marcus is at the perfect age for this type of surgery. His spine is still growing, which means better results. As they prepared to leave the research room, Marcus asked one more question. Mr. Musk? After my surgery, can I see a real rocket launch? Elon grinned. Marcus, after your surgery, maybe we can arrange something even better than that. That evening, they had dinner at the hospital cafeteria. It was much fancier than any cafeteria Keisha had ever seen. Marcus got excited about the ice cream machine. As they ate, Dr. Kim explained the surgery process. Keisha tried to listen, but her mind kept wandering. Was this really happening? 24 hours ago, she was worried about paying the electric bill. Now they were planning surgery with the best doctors in the country. Are you okay? Elon asked her. I keep thinking I'm gonna wake up, and this will all be a dream. It's not a dream. But Keisha, are you sure you're comfortable with this? It's okay to be scared. I'm terrified, she admitted. But not because I don't trust you or the doctors. I'm scared because for the first time in years, I have hope. And hope can be scary. Elon nodded. I understand. Hope means you have something to lose. That night, in their hotel room, Marcus couldn't stop talking about everything they had seen. Mom, did you see that robot? It was so cool. And Dr. Chen said I could name it. What would you name it? Marcus thought for a moment. Hope. I'd name it Hope. Keisha smiled. That's a perfect name. As she tucked Marcus into the hotel bed, he asked quietly, Mom, are you happy we came to Texas? Yes, baby. Very happy. Me too. I think tomorrow's gonna be the best day ever. But as Keisha tried to fall asleep, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to go wrong. Things this good didn't happen to people like them. The next morning, her fear turned out to be right. Keisha woke up to her phone buzzing. It was 6:30 a.m. The caller ID showed Dr. Kim's number. Hello? Keisha answered, her voice still sleepy. Keisha, I need you and Marcus to come to the hospital right away. We have a problem. Keisha's stomach dropped. What kind of problem? I'll explain when you get here. Just come as soon as you can. The hotel room suddenly felt cold. Keisha looked over at Marcus, still sleeping peacefully in the other bed. His face looked so calm and happy. She had to wake him up and tell him something was wrong. But what if she didn't understand the problem yet? What if she scared him for nothing? Marcus, she said gently, shaking his shoulder. Time to get up, baby. Are we going to see the robot again today? Marcus asked, rubbing his eyes. We're gonna see Dr. Kim. She wants to talk to us. During the taxi ride to the hospital, Marcus chatted excitedly about the surgery. He had drawn pictures of the robot the night before. He wanted to show them to Dr. Chen. Keisha nodded and smiled, but her mind was racing. What could have gone wrong? Yesterday, everything seemed perfect. At the hospital, Dr. Kim was waiting for them in her office. Her face looked serious and tired. Please, sit down, she said. Elon was there too, pacing by the window. He looked upset. What's happening? Keisha asked. Dr. Kim took a deep breath. Oh, I got a call from the FDA last night. There's been a complication with our approval process for the robotic surgery. What kind of complication? Another hospital tried a similar procedure last month. There were issues. Now the FDA wants to review all robotic spine surgeries more carefully. Keisha felt like the room was spinning. What does that mean for Marcus? It means we can't do the robotic surgery yet. The approval process could take months, maybe even a year. Marcus had been playing with his toy rocket, but now he looked up. Does that mean I can't get the surgery? Dr. Kim's voice was gentle. Not the special robot surgery we talked about. But Marcus, there are other options. Elon stopped pacing and turned around. Tell them about the traditional surgery. Right, Dr. Kim said. We can still do traditional spine surgery. It's been done safely for many years. The success rate is very good. How good? Keisha asked. 85% of children see significant improvement. The recovery takes a bit longer than with the robot, but the results are often excellent. Marcus raised his hand like he was in school. Dr. Kim, yes, Marcus, if I get the regular surgery instead of the robot surgery, will it still help other kids? Dr. Kim smiled sadly. The robot surgery would have helped us learn new techniques, but Marcus, traditional surgery has already helped thousands of children. You'd still be helping by showing other families that spine surgery can work. But I really wanted to help test the robot, Marcus said. His voice sounded disappointed but not angry. Elon walked over and knelt beside Marcus's chair. I know you did, and that shows what a brave, caring person you are. But sometimes the best way to help is to take care of yourself first. What do you mean? If you get the traditional surgery and it works well, you'll be strong and healthy. Then you can help other kids in different ways. Maybe by becoming an engineer and building better medical equipment. Marcus thought about this. Like when I grow up. Exactly. Keisha looked at Dr. Kim. How much does traditional surgery cost? The same arrangement applies, Elon said before Dr. Kim could answer. You don't pay anything. But now it's not experimental, it's just regular surgery. Why would you still pay for it? Elon sat down across from her. Because your son needs help. And because I meant what I said about the job offer. This isn't about the surgery being special or experimental. It's about taking care of each other. I still don't understand why you're doing this for us. Can I tell you a story? Keisha nodded. When I was 12 years old, I got very sick. My mom couldn't afford the best doctors. But our neighbor Mrs. Thompson knew a doctor who agreed to help for free. Not because we were special, but because he believed every kid deserved a chance to get better. What happened? I got better. And I never forgot that someone helped me when my family needed it most. Mrs. Thompson and that doctor changed my life. Marcus had been listening carefully. So now you're like Mrs. Thompson for us? Elon smiled. I guess I am. Dr. Kim opened a folder on her desk. If you decide to go ahead with traditional surgery, we can schedule it for next Friday. That gives Marcus a week to prepare and gives you time to think about it. What do I need to think about? Keisha asked. Traditional surgery is still surgery. There are always risks. Marcus would need to stay in the hospital for about a week. Then several months of physical therapy. But he'd be able to walk better? Most likely, yes. Much better. Marcus tugged on his mom's sleeve. Mom, can I ask Dr. Kim something? Of course. Dr. Kim, if I get the regular surgery, how long before I can run? Run? Dr. Kim looked surprised. Yeah, I've never been able to run fast. But I want to run with the other kids at school. Dr. Kim's eyes got a little watery. Marcus, if the surgery goes well, you might be running within 6 months. Really? Really? Marcus turned to his mom. I want to do it. Are you sure, baby, it's okay to be scared? I am scared. But I'm more excited than scared. I want to run, Mom. I want to play basketball with my friends. I want to be able to walk all day without my back hurting. Keisha looked around the room. At Dr. Kim, who had been so kind and patient. At Elon, who had turned their lives upside down in the best possible way. At Marcus, who was braver than any adult she knew. Okay, she said. Let's do it. Dr. Kim clapped her hands together. Wonderful. I'll start making arrangements right away. Wait, Elon said. Before we schedule anything, I want Marcus to see something. What? Marcus asked. How would you like to visit the SpaceX facility? See where we build the rockets? Marcus's eyes went huge. Really? If your mom says yes. Keisha couldn't help but smile. Even with all the worry about surgery, Marcus's excitement was contagious. I say yes. They spent the rest of the morning at the SpaceX facility in Austin. Marcus got to see real rocket engines. He met engineers who explained how rockets work. He even got to sit in a model spacecraft. This is the best day of my life, he told Keisha, as they watched a test of a rocket engine. Even with the surgery news? Especially with the surgery news. Because now I know I'm going to get better. And Mr. Musk showed me that when you help people, amazing things happen. That afternoon, as they prepared for surgery the next week, Marcus asked his mom a question that surprised everyone. Mom, can I write a letter? To who? To the kid who's going to get the robot surgery after me. Keisha looked confused. What do you mean? Well, I can't be the first kid to try the robot, but someday another kid will be. I want to write them a letter to tell them it's okay to be scared, but they should be brave anyway. Dr. Kim overheard this conversation. Later, she pulled Elon aside. That boy just taught me something about courage, she said. What's that? Real courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing the right thing even when you are afraid. As they returned to their hotel that evening, Marcus was already making plans. After my surgery, I want to learn more about building medical robots. Maybe I can help make them better. That sounds like a wonderful goal, Keisha said. And Mom, I want to help you with the foundation Mr. Musk talked about. What foundation? Marcus looked confused. He didn't tell you yet? Before Keisha could ask what Marcus meant, her phone rang. It was Elon. Keisha, can you meet me in the hotel lobby? There's something important I need to discuss with you. What about? About how Marcus's story is going to help a lot more families than just yours. Keisha left Marcus drawing in their hotel room and went down to meet Elon in the lobby. He was sitting in a quiet corner, typing on his phone. Thank you for coming down, he said, looking up. I wanted to talk to you privately. Is something wrong? No, something's very right. But I need to ask you something important first. They sat down in two comfortable chairs near a window. Outside, Austin looked busy and modern. Cars drove past. People walked by with coffee cups and briefcases. Keisha, what do you know about foundations? Like the makeup kind? Elon smiled. No, like charitable foundations. Organizations that help people. Not much. Why? Since your story went viral, something amazing has happened. Thousands of people have contacted my companies. They want to help families like yours. Keisha felt confused. Help how? Some want to donate money. Others want to volunteer their time. Doctors are offering free consultations. Teachers want to tutor kids who miss school for medical treatments. That's incredible. It is. And it's all because of you and Marcus. We didn't do anything special. You did something very special. You showed people that asking for help isn't shameful. You showed them that working hard doesn't always solve every problem. And Marcus showed them what real courage looks like. Elon pulled out his phone and showed her a website. The header read, The Marcus Foundation Supporting Single Parents and Children with Medical Needs. Keisha stared at the screen. What is this? It's a foundation we want to create. Named after your son. Named after Marcus? But why? Because his story inspired it. Your message to me wasn't just about getting help. It was about a mother who never gave up and a boy who dreams of helping others. Keisha scrolled through the website. There were pictures of families, stories about children with different medical conditions, information about how to apply for help. This is beautiful, she said, but I still don't understand what it has to do with me. I want you to run it. Keisha's phone almost slipped from her hands. Me? Run a foundation? You understand what these families are going through. You know what it's like to work multiple jobs and still not have enough money. You know how to be strong when everything seems hopeless. But I don't know anything about running a foundation. I never even finished college. College doesn't teach you how to care about people. It doesn't teach you how to never give up. You already know the most important things. Keisha looked at the website again. Under the mission statement, she saw a quote, Every child deserves a chance to reach for the stars. Did you write this? Actually, Marcus did. Yesterday, when he said he was walking to Mars, it made me think about how every kid should be able to dream that big. Marcus wrote that. He inspired it. We asked him what he thought the foundation should say, and he said tell kids they can do anything, even fly to the moon. Keisha felt tears in her eyes. Her 8-year-old son was inspiring foundations and helping other families, and he didn't even know it. Elon, this is too much. I can't run something this important. Why not? Because I'm just a single mom from Detroit. I clean offices and serve lunch. I'm nobody special. Elon leaned forward. Keisha, do you know what I see when I look at you? She shook her head. I see someone who raised a brilliant, caring child while working 16 hours a day. I see someone who never blamed the world for her problems. I see someone who asked for help not for herself, but for her son. Lots of parents would do the same thing. Maybe. But you actually did it. And because you did, hundreds of other families are going to get help. They talked for another hour. Elon explained how the foundation would work. It would provide money for medical treatments. It would offer job training for parents. It would connect families with resources they didn't know existed. Where would the money come from? Keisha asked. Tesla and SpaceX employees want to donate part of their salaries. Other people are sending money through the website. Some companies want to sponsor families. And you really want me to manage all of this? With training and support, yes. You'd learn nonprofit management. You'd have a team to help you. And Keisha, the salary would be more than your 2 jobs combined. But I want to stay in Detroit. That's where families like mine live. Perfect. Detroit will be our headquarters." When Keisha went back to their room, Marcus was still drawing. This time he had drawn a picture of the hospital with little stick figures inside. "What's that, baby?" "It's the hospital where I'm getting surgery. And these are all the other kids who are going to get better too." "How do you know other kids will get better?" Marcus looked up from his drawing. "Because Mr. Musk told me. He said when one person gets help, it makes it easier for other people to get help too." "When did he tell you that?" "Today, when we were looking at the rockets. He said that's why he builds rockets. Not just to go to space, but to show people that impossible things can happen." Keisha sat down next to her son. "Marcus, Mr. Musk wants to start a foundation to help other families like ours." "What's a foundation?" "It's like a big group of people who work together to help others." Marcus's eyes lit up. "Can I help? What would you want to do?" Marcus thought for a moment. "I want to write letters to the other kids, to tell them that being different isn't bad, and that their moms and dads love them no matter what." "That's a beautiful idea. And Mom, when I get better, I want to visit kids in the hospital. I can show them that surgery isn't scary." "You want to do that?" "Yeah. Because if I was in the hospital and scared, I would want someone like me to tell me it was going to be okay." That night, as Keisha tucked Marcus into bed, he said something that made her cry. "Mom, remember when you used to tell me that everything happens for a reason?" "Yes, I think I know the reason I got spina bifida." "What's the reason?" "So we could help other kids who have it too. If I didn't have it, we never would have written to Mr. Musk. And if we didn't write to him, he never would have known about all the other families who need help." Keisha stared at her son. How did an 8-year-old understand things that adults spent years trying to figure out? "You might be right about that." "Mom, are you scared about the surgery?" "A little bit." "Are you?" "A little bit too. But I'm more excited than scared." "Why?" "Because after I get better, we get to help lots of people. That's way better than just getting better by myself." The next morning, Marcus woke up with an idea that would surprise everyone. "Mom, I want to do something before my surgery." "What's that?" "I want to make a video for kids who are scared about getting surgery." "What would you say in the video?" Marcus sat up in bed, suddenly very serious. "I'd tell them that it's okay to be scared. But being scared doesn't mean you can't be brave. And I'd tell them that their parents love them and that doctors are helpers, not scary people." "That sounds perfect." "And Mom, I'd tell them about the foundation, so they know that even if they're scared and their families don't have money, there are people who want to help." An hour later, Keisha called Elon. "Marcus wants to make a video for other kids," she told him. "What kind of video?" "To help kids who are scared about surgery. To tell them about the foundation." Elon was quiet for a moment. "Keisha, do you realize what your son just suggested?" "What do you mean?" "He wants to help other children before he even gets his own surgery. Most adults wouldn't think to do that. He's always been like that. That's exactly why this foundation needs to exist, and why you're the right person to run it." That afternoon, they filmed Marcus's video in the hospital playroom. He sat cross-legged on a colorful rug, holding his toy rocket. "Hi," he said to the camera. "My name is Marcus, and I'm 8 years old. I have something called spina bifida, which means my back doesn't work exactly right." He talked for 10 minutes, about being scared sometimes, about how his mom worked really hard, about how doctors and hospitals weren't scary once you got to know them. "If you're watching this video," Marcus said at the end, "it probably means you or someone you love needs help. I want you to know that it's going to be okay. There are people who care about you, even if you've never met them." When they finished filming, Dr. Kim had tears in her eyes. "Marcus," she said, "that was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Do you think it will help other kids?" "I think it will help thousands of kids." That evening, Elon made an announcement that would change their lives forever. But first, Marcus asked his mom a question that revealed the biggest truth of all. They were sitting in their hotel room after dinner. Marcus was coloring a picture of the foundation logo he had helped design. Keisha was reading through papers about the surgery scheduled for tomorrow. "Mom," Marcus said, not looking up from his drawing, "can I ask you something important?" "Of course, baby. Why didn't you ever tell me we were poor?" Keisha's pen stopped moving. She looked up at her son, surprised by the question. "What do you mean?" Marcus kept coloring, but his voice was serious. "I heard the doctors and Mr. Musk talking about insurance and medical bills. They said we couldn't afford my surgery, and I remember you crying sometimes when you looked at the mail. Keisha felt her throat get tight. Marcus, I always thought we just lived different than other families. Marcus continued. Like how we eat mac and cheese a lot, and how you work at night when other moms are home, and how we shop at the thrift store instead of the mall. Baby, I didn't want you to worry about money. Marcus finally looked up from his drawing. His eyes were serious but not sad. But Mom, I wasn't worried. I was proud. Proud? Yeah. My mom works harder than anybody. She never gives up. She never gets angry about things we don't have. She always finds a way to make everything okay. Tears started running down Keisha's face. Marcus, and when I saw other kids at school with fancy clothes and new toys, I didn't feel bad. Because they probably don't have a mom who reads them stories every night even when she's really tired. Keisha put down her papers and pulled Marcus onto her lap. You're the strongest person I know, she said. No, you are. But Mom? What? I think maybe being poor taught us something important. What's that? Marcus thought for a moment. It taught us that the best things aren't things you buy. They're things you do for other people. Just then, there was a knock at their door. Keisha looked through the peephole. It was Elon. Mr. Musk is here, she told Marcus. When she opened the door, Elon looked excited but also nervous. I hope I'm not interrupting, he said, but I have some news I couldn't wait until tomorrow to share. Good news or bad news? Marcus asked. Very good news. Can I come in? They sat on the small couch in their hotel room. Elon had his phone in his hand. Do you remember the video you made today, Marcus? The one for scared kids? That's the one. Well, we posted it on the foundation website just 2 hours ago. Already. Marcus, your video has been watched by over 50,000 people. And that's just the beginning. Keisha stared at him. And 50,000? Parents are sharing it with their children. Doctors are showing it to patients. Children's hospitals across the country want to use it. Marcus's eyes got wide. Really? Really? But that's not the best part. Elon showed them his phone screen. Since your video went live, the foundation has received over 200 applications from families who need help. 200 families? Keisha asked. 200 families. And Marcus, we've also received enough donations to help the first 50 families immediately. Marcus jumped up from the couch. We can help 50 families? Thanks to you, yes. But I just talked to a camera. I didn't do anything special. Elon knelt down so he was eye level with Marcus. You told the truth about being scared, but brave. You made other kids feel less alone. That's one of the most special things anyone can do. Keisha felt overwhelmed. This is all happening so fast. There's more, Elon said. Marcus, how would you feel about being the foundation's first official kid ambassador? What's a kid ambassador? Someone who helps other children understand that it's okay to ask for help. Someone who visits hospitals and talks to families. Someone who helps us make sure we're really helping kids the right way. Marcus looked at his mom. Would I still get to go to school? Elon laughed. Of course. This would just be something special you do sometimes. Like maybe once a month you could visit a hospital, or help make another video. And it would help other kids? It would help thousands of other kids. Marcus didn't hesitate. I want to do it. Are you sure? Keisha asked. It's a big responsibility. Mom, remember what you always tell me? What's that? When you have a chance to help someone, you always take it. That evening, they had a video call with Dr. Kim to go over the final details for surgery. But first, she had her own surprise. Marcus, Dr. Kim said on the screen, I watched your video today. Did you like it? I loved it. In fact, it gave me an idea. How would you like to help us design a special room for kids who are getting spine surgery? Design a room? We want to create a space that feels less scary. Maybe with space themes. Since you love rockets, you could help us pick the colors and decorations. Marcus's face lit up. Like my own space room in the hospital. Not just for you. For every kid who comes after you. That would be so cool. Dr. Kim smiled. We'll start working on it as soon as you're feeling better after surgery. After the call ended, Elon had one more surprise. Marcus, I know surgery is tomorrow and you might be nervous. So I brought you something. He handed Marcus a small box. Inside was a model of a SpaceX rocket, signed by the entire engineering team. This rocket is special, Elon explained. It's an exact model of the rocket that will carry the first people to Mars. Really? Really? I want you to keep it with you during surgery tomorrow, to remind you that brave people do amazing things. Marcus held the rocket carefully. Mr. Musk? Yes? When I grow up and become an engineer, will I get to work on real rockets like this? Marcus, if you want to work on rockets, I'll make sure you get that chance. Even if I'm not the smartest person. You're already one of the smartest people I know. Not because of math or science, but because you understand the most important thing. What's that? That helping other people is the best kind of smart there is. That night, as Keisha tucked Marcus into bed, he was holding his new rocket. Mom, I'm not scared about tomorrow anymore. Why not? Because I know that no matter what happens, we're gonna help lots of kids. And that makes everything worth it. You're not doing this just to help other kids, you know? You're doing it to help yourself too. I know. But helping other kids makes helping myself feel even better. As Keisha turned off the light, Marcus said one more thing. Mom, tomorrow, when I wake up from surgery, I want the first thing I see to be that rocket. To remind me that anything is possible. I'll make sure it's right there. And Mom? Yes? Thank you for sending that message to Mr. Musk. Even though you were scared, why are you thanking me? Because now I know what I want to be when I grow up. An engineer? An engineer who helps kids dream big. Just like Mr. Musk helped me. The next morning, as they prepared for surgery, Marcus made an announcement that surprised everyone. I want to give Mr. Musk something before I go into surgery, Marcus said as the nurses helped him into his hospital gown. What do you want to give him? Keisha asked. Marcus reached into his small backpack and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I drew this for him last night. He unfolded the paper carefully. It was a drawing of a rocket ship with two figures inside, one tall, one small. But this wasn't like his other rocket drawings. That's Mr. Musk and me, Marcus explained, pointing to the figures. But we're not just gonna Mars. Where are you going? We're picking up all the kids who need help first. See? Marcus pointed to smaller figures drawn around the rocket. Each one had a different colored crayon and a small smile. These are kids in wheelchairs, and kids with crutches, and kids who are sick. We're taking them all with us to space. Keisha felt her eyes fill with tears. Even on his surgery day, Marcus was thinking about other children. Can you ask Mr. Musk to come here? Marcus asked. I want to give this to him before I get sleepy from the medicine. A few minutes later, Elon arrived in the pre-surgery room. He was wearing a visitor's gown and looked more nervous than Marcus did. How are you feeling, buddy? Elon asked. Good. I have something for you. Marcus handed him the drawing. Elon looked at it for a long time without saying anything. Marcus, Elon said finally, his voice very quiet. This is the most beautiful thing anyone has ever given me. Really? Really, can you tell me about it? Well, I was thinking about rockets and space and helping people. And I thought, what if we could take all the kids who need help on a space adventure? Not because they're sick, but because they're brave. Elon stared at the drawing. His eyes looked watery. You know what, Marcus? This drawing just gave me an idea for something amazing. What kind of idea? What if we created a space camp for kids with medical conditions? A place where they could learn about rockets and engineering while they're getting better. Marcus's eyes went huge. Like a real space camp? Like a real space camp. With simulators and rocket models and everything. Dr. Kim had been listening from the doorway. That's a wonderful idea. Kids recover faster when they have something exciting to look forward to. We could call it Camp Reach for the Stars. Marcus said. Perfect name, Elon agreed. Marcus, would you help me design it? Before my surgery or after? Elon laughed. Definitely after. But I want you to be the first kid to try everything we build. The anesthesiologist came in to explain what would happen during surgery. Marcus listened carefully, asking smart questions that impressed all the adults. Will I dream while I'm asleep? Marcus asked. Some people do, the doctor said. What would you like to dream about? Flying in space with all my new friends from the foundation. As they wheeled Marcus toward the operating room, he called out to Elon. Mr. Musk, don't forget to keep my drawing safe. I'll put it in the most important place I can think of. Elon promised. The surgery took 4 hours. Keisha spent the time in the waiting room with Elon. Sometimes they talked, sometimes they just sat quietly. Are you nervous? Keisha asked. Terrified, Elon admitted. I feel like Marcus is my own kid. Why do you care so much about us? Elon thought for a moment. Because Marcus reminds me why I do what I do. It's not about building cool technology or making money. It's about making life better for people like him. He's going to change the world someday. He's already changing the world. Do you know how many people have donated to the foundation since yesterday? How many? Over 10,000 people. And 3 major hospitals want to partner with us. Around noon, Dr. Kim came to the waiting room with a big smile. The surgery went perfectly, she announced. Marcus should have much better mobility and much less pain. Keisha cried happy tears. Elon hugged her. Can we see him? Keisha asked. He's still waking up. But yes, in the recovery room, Marcus looked small in the big hospital bed. But he was awake and smiling. Did it work? He asked groggily. It worked perfectly, Dr. Kim said. How do you feel? Sleepy. But my back doesn't hurt as much already. That's wonderful. Marcus looked around the room until he saw Elon. Mr. Musk, did you keep my drawing safe? Elon pulled out his phone and showed Marcus a photo. The drawing was now framed and hanging on the wall of his office at SpaceX. Everyone who visits my office will see it, Elon said. It reminds them why we build rockets. To help people reach for the stars. Just like you taught me. Over the next 3 days, Marcus recovered faster than anyone expected. He was walking with assistance by the 2nd day. By the 3rd day, he was designing his space-themed hospital room with Dr. Kim. I want stars on the ceiling, Marcus said. So kids can look up and dream about flying. We can do that, Dr. Kim agreed. What else? A big picture of Earth from space. To remind kids that they're part of something bigger. Brilliant. On their last day in Austin, Elon took them to the SpaceX facility one more time. But this time he had a special surprise. Marcus, there's someone I want you to meet. He led them to a conference room where a woman was waiting. She had short gray hair and kind eyes. Marcus, this is Dr. Angela Torres. She designed spacesuits for astronauts. Marcus's mouth dropped open. Hi, Marcus, Dr. Torres said. Mr. Musk told me about your idea for a space camp. I'd like to help make it happen. Really? Really? In fact, I brought you something. She handed Marcus a small space helmet, sized just for him. This is a real space helmet, she explained. Modified for kids your age. When you're feeling completely better, we'll teach you how to use all the equipment. Marcus put on the helmet carefully. Do I look like an astronaut? You look like the bravest astronaut I've ever seen, Elon said. That evening, as they prepared to fly home to Detroit, Marcus was full of plans. Mom, when we get home, I want to visit the hospital where I used to get checkups. Why? To tell the other kids about the foundation. And to show them that surgery isn't scary. That's a wonderful idea. And I want to start working on designs for the space camp. You're going to be very busy. Marcus grinned. I like being busy when it's helping people. On the plane home, Marcus fell asleep holding his space helmet. Keisha looked at her son and thought about how much their lives had changed in 1 week. A week ago, she was desperate and scared. Now she was the director of a foundation that would help hundreds of families. A week ago, Marcus was just a sick kid who needed surgery. Now he was inspiring children across the country. But some things hadn't changed. Marcus was still the same kind, brave boy he'd always been. And Keisha still loved him more than anything in the world. As the plane flew over the clouds toward Detroit, Keisha made a promise to herself. She would make that every family helped by the foundation felt the same hope that Marcus had given her. The best adventures, she realized, weren't about going to space. They were about helping each other reach for the stars right here on Earth. When their plane landed in Detroit, Keisha expected to quietly take a taxi home. Instead, she saw a small crowd waiting at the gate. Mom, why are there people here? Marcus asked, still wearing his space helmet. Mrs. Patterson from their apartment building was there. So was Mrs. Martinez from the community center. Even Marcus's teacher, Mrs. Lopez, had come to welcome them home.
Welcome back, Mrs. Patterson called out, holding a casserole dish. We saw you on the news. The whole neighborhood has been following your story.
Marcus walked over to his teacher. Mrs. Lopez, look what I got. He showed her the space helmet. That's amazing, Marcus. But I'm more proud of how you're helping other children. As they walked through the airport, people kept stopping them. Some had seen the news stories. Others had watched Marcus's video on the foundation website. "Thank you for what you're doing," a woman told Keisha. "My daughter has the same condition as Marcus. Your foundation is going to help us." Outside the airport, their taxi driver recognized them too. "You're the space boy," he said. "Marcus, my grandson watched your video 3 times." During the ride home, Keisha looked out the window at Detroit. The same broken streetlights, the same old buildings, but somehow everything looked different now. "It looks smaller," Marcus said, as if reading her thoughts. "What do you mean?" "Detroit. It looked so big when we left. Now it looks like a place where we can help lots of people." When they got to their apartment building, there was another surprise waiting. The broken hallway light was fixed. Someone had painted over the graffiti on the walls. The front steps looked cleaner. "What happened here?" Keisha asked Mrs. Patterson. "After your story came out, people in the neighborhood started talking. We decided to fix up the building a little, make it nicer for when you came home." Inside their apartment, Keisha found cards and letters slipped under the door. Dozens of them. Marcus sat on the floor and read them out loud, sounding out the bigger words. One card said, "Thank you for showing us what courage looks like. From the Johnson family." Another said, "My son also has spina bifida. Marcus gives him hope. Maria." A letter from a group of kids at a school in California said, "We had a bake sale to donate to your foundation. We raised..." "Mom, people we've never met are helping other kids because of us," Marcus said. "How does that make you feel?" "Happy. And a little scared." "Scared why?" "Because now I have to keep being brave. Other kids are watching me." That evening, Keisha started her new job training online. The foundation had grown even more while they were in Texas. They now had enough money to help over 100 families. Marcus sat beside her, drawing designs for the space camp. "What's that building?" Keisha asked, pointing to his drawing. "That's where kids who use wheelchairs can learn about rocket engineering. And that's where kids who are sick can rest but still see all the space stuff. You've thought of everything. I want every kid to feel included, even if they can't walk good or get tired easy." A week later, Marcus was ready to return to school. Dr. Kim had said he should take things slowly, but Marcus felt great. On his first day back, something amazing happened. "Marcus," his friend Kevin called out during recess, "tell us about the rockets." Soon, a group of kids surrounded Marcus. He told them about meeting Elon Musk, about the surgery, about the foundation. "Are you famous now?" a girl named Sarah asked. "I don't think so," Marcus said. "I just got help when I needed it. Now I want to help other kids." "Can we help too?" Kevin asked. "Really, you want to help?" "Yeah." "What can we do?" Marcus thought for a moment. "We could make cards for kids in the hospital, or we could have a fundraiser for the foundation." By the end of recess, 12 kids had volunteered to help with Marcus's projects. Mrs. Lopez was amazed. "Marcus, you've inspired your whole class."
They were already nice kids. They just needed something to do.
That afternoon, Keisha got a call that would change everything again. "Mrs. Washington, this is Janet Williams from Good Morning America. We'd like to invite you and Marcus to be on our show next week." "National television?" "Yes. We want to share your story with the whole country. And we'd like to announce the space camp on the show." Keisha felt nervous. "I don't know, Marcus is just getting back to normal life. Talk it over with him. The story you two have created is giving hope to families everywhere." That evening, Keisha asked Marcus what he thought. "Would being on TV help more kids?" Marcus asked. "Probably. Then we should do it." "Are you sure?" "It's a big deal." Marcus nodded seriously. "Mom, remember what you taught me when I was little?" "What's that?" "When you have a chance to help someone, you always take it." The night before they were supposed to fly to New York for the TV show, Marcus had trouble sleeping. "What's wrong, baby?" Keisha asked. "I keep thinking about all the kids who are watching. What if I say something wrong?" "You won't say anything wrong. You'll just tell the truth. That's what you've always done." "But what if they ask me hard questions?" Keisha sat on the edge of his bed. "Marcus, do you remember what you told me in Texas? About being scared but still being brave?" "Yeah. That's all you have to do tomorrow. Be scared if you need to, but be brave anyway. Will you be there with me? Every second." The next morning, as they got ready to leave for the airport again, Marcus made one more announcement.
Mom,
After we're on TV, I want to do something special. What's that? I want to visit the hospital here in Detroit, where I used to get my checkups. Why? To tell the kids there about the foundation, and to show them my space helmet. That's a wonderful idea. And Mom, I want to give them something. What do you want to give them? Marcus smiled. Hope. Just like Mr. Musk gave us. As their taxi drove toward the airport, Keisha realized something incredible. 6 weeks ago, she had written a desperate message to a stranger, asking for help. Now she and Marcus were the ones helping strangers. The circle was complete. But their biggest surprise was still waiting for them in New York. The Good Morning America studio was bigger and brighter than anything Marcus had ever seen. Cameras pointed in every direction. People with headsets rushed around carrying papers and coffee cups. "This is so cool," Marcus whispered to his mom as they sat in the green room. A makeup artist put powder on their faces. "You two are going to do great," she said kindly. "America is going to love you." "Are you nervous?" the show's producer asked Marcus. "A little, but my mom says being nervous just means something important is happening." Just before they went on air, Keisha got a text message that made her gasp. "What is it?" Marcus asked. "Look who's here." She showed him the message. It was from Elon. "Surprise. I'm in the audience. Couldn't miss this." When they walked onto the set, the studio audience clapped loudly. Marcus waved shyly, still holding his space helmet. The host, Sarah Johnson, knelt down to Marcus's level. "So Marcus, I heard you want to be an engineer when you grow up." "Yes, ma'am. I want to build things that help people." "What kind of things?" "Maybe better wheelchairs. Or robots that can help doctors. Or rockets that can take medicine to places that need it." The audience clapped again. Sarah turned to Keisha. "Tell us about the foundation." "It started with one desperate message," Keisha said. "But it became something much bigger. We've now helped over 200 families with medical expenses." 200 families in just 6 weeks? The response has been incredible. People want to help each other. They just needed to know how. Sarah looked at her notes. "Marcus, I understand you have some big plans for a space camp." Marcus's face lit up. "It's going to be amazing. Kids with medical conditions can learn about rockets and engineering while they're getting better. We're going to have real spacesuits and everything." "When will it open?" "Mr. Musk says maybe next year. I'm going to help design it." "Speaking of Mr. Musk," Sarah said with a smile, "I believe he has something to tell you." Marcus looked confused. "He's here?" The camera turned to the audience. Elon stood up and waved. "Hi, Marcus. Hi, Keisha." "Mr. Musk," Marcus called out, bouncing in his chair. Elon walked onto the stage. "I have some news I wanted to share with America." He sat down next to Marcus. "Remember your drawing? The one with the rocket picking up kids who need help?" "Yeah. Well, that drawing inspired something even bigger than the space camp." Marcus's eyes got huge. "What?" "SpaceX is partnering with children's hospitals across the country. We're going to build space-themed healing centers in 20 cities." The audience gasped. Each center will have the latest medical technology, but designed to look like a space station. Kids getting treatment can feel like they're on an adventure to Mars. Marcus jumped up from his chair. "Really? 20 cities? Really? And Marcus, I want you to help design every single one. This is the best day ever." Sarah wiped tears from her eyes. "This is incredible. But I think there's one more surprise." She looked at her producers off stage. "We've been getting calls and emails all morning from people who want to help the foundation." A number appeared on the screen. $2.3 million. That's how much money has been donated just since we announced you'd be on the show today. Keisha stared at the number. 2 million? 2.3 million. And it's still growing. Marcus looked at the number, then at his mom. "How many kids can we help with that much money?" "Hundreds, baby. Maybe thousands." That afternoon, after the show, they visited a children's hospital in Manhattan. Marcus wore his space helmet and carried a bag full of toy rockets Elon had brought. "Hi, everyone," Marcus said to a room full of kids getting treatments. "I'm Marcus, and I used to be scared of hospitals too." He talked for an hour about surgery and recovery and dreams, about how being different made him special, not broken. One little girl in a wheelchair raised her hand. "Marcus, Do you think I'll ever be able to go to space? I think if you want to go to space, you'll find a way to get there. And if you can't go yourself, maybe you'll build the rockets that take other people. Another boy asked, what if I'm not smart enough to be an engineer? Being smart isn't just about math and science, Marcus said. Being smart is about caring about other people. You're already smart in the most important way. When they finished at the hospital, Elon had one final surprise. There's someone else here who wanted to meet you. A woman in a NASA jacket walked over. Marcus, I'm Commander Lisa Rodriguez. I'm an astronaut. Marcus's mouth fell open. A real astronaut? A real astronaut. And Marcus, I wanted to tell you something important. What? The bravest astronauts aren't the ones who aren't scared. They're the ones who are scared but go on the mission anyway. Like surgery? Exactly like surgery. You've already proven you have what it takes to be an astronaut. She handed Marcus a patch from her spacesuit. This flew with me to the International Space Station. I want you to have it. That evening, as they flew back to Detroit, Marcus was quiet. What are you thinking about? Keisha asked. I'm thinking about all the kids we met today. And all the kids we're gonna help. How does it feel? Big. Like we're part of something really important. We are part of something important. Marcus looked out the airplane window at the lights below. Mom, do you remember when you first wrote to Mr. Musk? Of course. Were you hoping for all this to happen? Keisha thought carefully. I was hoping you could walk better. Everything else is more than I ever dreamed. I'm glad you were brave enough to ask for help. I'm glad you were brave enough to help others. Marcus smiled. Mom, I figured out the secret. What secret? The secret Mr. Musk taught us. The best way to get help is to help other people. How do you know that? Because when you sent that message, you weren't just asking for help with my surgery. You were telling him about a kid who wanted to help other kids. That's why he answered. Keisha realized Marcus was right. Her message hadn't just been about medical bills. It had been about a boy who dreamed of building things that would help people. You're very wise for 8 years old. 9 years old. Marcus corrected. I had a birthday while we were in Texas. Remember? How could I forget? And Mom, I know what I want for my next birthday. What's that? I want to visit the space camp when it's finished. With the first group of kids. That sounds perfect. As their plane descended toward Detroit, Marcus made one final announcement. Tomorrow, I want to go back to our old hospital. The one where I used to get checkups. Why? To tell the kids there about everything that's happened. And to show them that asking for help isn't scary. And what else? Marcus grinned. To show them that dreams really can come true. Even the biggest one. The next morning, Marcus kept his promise. They visited Detroit Children's Hospital, where his journey had started years ago. In the same waiting room where Keisha used to worry about medical bills, Marcus now handed out toy rockets and talked about space camps and foundations. The most important thing, he told a group of children, is to never stop dreaming and never be afraid to ask for help. One little boy raised his hand. What if nobody helps us? Marcus thought for a moment. Then we help each other. That's what my mom taught me. As they left the hospital that day, Keisha realized something incredible. 6 weeks ago, she had been a desperate mother in this same building, wondering how to help her son. Now Marcus was the one giving hope to other families. The circle wasn't just complete. It was growing bigger every day. That night, as Marcus designed new plans for the space camps, he looked up at his mom. You know what the best part of this whole story is? What? It's not over yet. Tomorrow we get to help more kids. And they did. And that was the end of this incredible story of Keisha and Marcus Washington, a tale that shows us how one moment of courage can create ripples of kindness that reach thousands of lives. I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and tell us your city or country. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button. It really helps us share these inspiring stories with more people who need to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for many more heartwarming and incredible true stories like this one. We share new stories of hope, courage, and human kindness every week. Most importantly, please share this video with your friends and family. Stories like Marcus and Keisha's remind us that no matter how dark things seem, there are always people willing to help. And sometimes we get to be those people for others. Together, we can spread kindness and awareness, one story at a time. Until next time, keep believing in the power of reaching for the stars.